Hi there, it's Mr. Clark. Welcome to lesson 5.4.1 on transposing, concert pitch to written pitch for octave and B-flat instruments. So, transposition is one of those things that you just have to do it a bunch until it starts making sense. I'll try my best to explain it now, why it happens, how it happens, but a lot of it is just doing it in practice and getting more comfortable with it that way. So, up until now, we've been dealing exclusively with concert pitch. That is, the note that we read is the same as the piano. So, I'm playing middle C, C4 on a piano. And we call that C, and we've always, I'm sorry, wrong octave. C4, we've always called that C4. In all of our ear tunes and composition projects, we've always called that C4. But not all instruments do. And we call these instruments that don't match up quite with the piano transposing instruments. So historically, instruments had fewer keys or valves, so you couldn't easily play all of the chromatic notes that you need to, so instruments were built in similar sizes but slightly different. So here I have a B flat and an A clarinet, and there's not a great... I'm lining them up at the bells, and you'll see that the A clarinet is definitely longer, because it doesn't have a mouthpiece and barrel, but has this much difference in length, which means it's going to be a lower pitched instrument. And the modern clarinet has a lot of keys, lots of keys, but they didn't used to, so it was easier to play in some keys than others. So if you had clarinet and B flat, clarinet and A, it was easy to play in different keys. And when you had these similar instruments in different keys, it would be terrible to have to learn a different fingering system every time I just go from clarinet B flat to clarinet and A. Well, on this clarinet, I finger C this way. On this clarinet, I finger C this way. Like, that would get too confusing, so that's why some instruments started to transpose. Which instruments transpose is... I'll give you some of them, but that's really more for an orchestration class and a theory class. Once you understand the idea, you should be able to apply it to different instruments. So, the first type of transposition we're going to be worrying about is octave transposition. So here the note name stays the same, it's just the octave number that changes. So suppose I want to hear these pitches played on a piano. If I play flute, or oboe, or marimba, or violin, and I play those same notes as written, then that's what I hear. Those are all concert pitch instruments. But not everything is. So if I play glockenspiel, or a Garthline recorder, or crotales, then if I want to hear, I have to write it 2 octaves lower. So we're going from concert pitch, what I want to hear, and we're going to what you have to write in order to hear that. Suppose I have piccolo, or xylophone, or celeste, or sopranino, soprano, and bass recorders. I happen to have a soprano recorder right here. So I'm going to play these notes, and this is what you'll hear as reference. If I played this, if I looked at these pitches, that's right, it would be higher on the piano. Some things go the opposite way. Guitar, tenor voice, bass flute, bass oboe, string bass, bass guitar, and contrabassoon transpose an octave down. So if you wanted to hear these notes, this is what you'd have to write. So as a tenor, if I see these notes, I'll sing da, 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 da. I'll sing C4, E4, G4, E4. If I wanted to actually have these notes, this is what I have to write. Da, da. Not in a great range for the tenor voice, which is why there are so many ledger lines. Other transpositions, aside from octave transpositions, are named for what note it sounds like when that instrument plays a C. So I'm going to play middle C. I'm going to play, if I see a middle C, it's that note, which if I go to a piano, is actually a B flat. That's why we call this a B flat clarinet. I play what looks like C, and it sounds like B flat. So if I want to hear an actual C, I'm going to have to go up a whole step. The difference is a whole step. Here I have to go up a whole step. This is what I played, and this is what it sounds like. So this is the most common for clarinet, trumpet, soprano, saxophone. It just sounds down a major second. If you're writing for piccolo trumpet, sounds down a major second, but then also up an octave. If you're writing for bass clarinet, tenor sax, bass trumpet, or treble clef euphonium, which don't ever do that, that's terrible, you would have to write it down. It sounds down a major second, less an octave. So if this were a bass clarinet, this is what I would have to write in order to hear this. Sorry, hear this because of octaves. Raise this a little bit. And for contrabass and bass sax, it would be a difference of 2 octaves. So what I care more about right now is getting the correct pitches, being able to go from here and then moving everything up a major second, including the key signature. The octave is another part of it. Less concerned about that right now. That's more a matter of orchestration stuff, but try to figure that out too. Again, this is confusing. Go ahead, practice with this. Come back to it, listen to this again, read through it again. It's going to take a bit, and that's okay. See you next time.